Okay. Explain the story of why Wang Lijun ended up in the American embassy, and why wouldn't America take him?
Organ harvesting was a big part of his career. He had personally overseen the organ harvesting of thousands of prisoners.
America did not want to have a Chinese Dr. Mengele. What do you call it? An exhilarating experience to see one life end.
Stirring experience, stirring emotional experience.
It's Dr. Mengele from the Nazis would make that kind of statement.
Wang Lijun was the protege of Zhou Xilai, who was a very charismatic governor of Liaoning province, and he was clearly a contender for the Chinese presidency. This man, Wang Lijun, as well as doing organ harvesting, he also went wherever Zhou Xilai went. So they went to Chongqing, and in Chongqing, he was the chief of police, essentially. And he got into trouble with Zhou Xilai. They quarreled. We don't know exactly what happened. There's some kind of argument. At the same time, he had dirt on Zhou Xilai. So he dresses up as an old woman. He feels his life is threatened. He dresses up as an old woman, and he drives in the middle of the night to the Chengdu consulate.
Oh my gosh.
There he reveals who he is, but he takes along a cell phone. And foolishly, because of course, Zhou Xilai tracks that cell phone and says, there he is.
70 cars, was it?
Yes, that's right. 70 cars surrounding the poor American Chengdu consulate in the middle of the night. According to, unconfirmed reports, he tried to marshal armored fighting vehicles outside of the Chengdu consulate as well. It's truly Cold War stuff. And the Americans buckled. After 24 hours, they give him up. And, at the end of the day, where do you think Wang Lijun ended up? Well, he ended up in a cell not unlike many torture sessions that he's called the tune for before. I'm sure he was probably tortured. They probably know everything he said to the State Department, and I think that's partly why the Chinese medical establishment panicked.
Is there any transcripts of what he said?
I just imagine the State Department sitting on some very juicy ones, but they have released nothing about what he said.
Have they hinted at anything? Or
yes, they did. In one sense, they did put out for the first time in their annual report on China, they mentioned the allegations of organ harvesting of prisoners of conscience, followed by Uyghurs. They did mention it explicitly for the first time. They didn't mention it as this, as a bunk rumor. They mentioned it as a serious allegation.